From IsReal News, this is the evening briefing for Tuesday, February 24th. The U.S. Justice Department says it has sued the University of California system over alleged unlawful discrimination against Jewish and Israeli employees at UCLA, describing what it calls an anti-Semitic hostile work environment. The lawsuit alleges UCLA failed to prevent and correct discriminatory and harassing conduct following the October 7, 2023 Hamas-led assault on Israel and the campus protests that followed. This comes as federal authorities increase legal scrutiny of how universities respond to complaints involving antisemitism and workplace civil rights protections. In Washington tonight, the brother of slain Israeli embassy staffer Yaron Lischinsky is set to attend President Donald Trump's State of the Union address as a guest of House Speaker Mike Johnson. Johnson's office said Yaron Lischinsky was invited in connection with the killing of Lischinsky and his partner, Sarah Milgram, who were shot after leaving an American Jewish Committee event at the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington last May. The incident takes place during heightened attention to security for Jewish communal events and Israeli-affiliated personnel in the United States. In Israel, senior security and diplomatic officials speaking to Israeli media said they do not expect a breakthrough in U.S.-Iran talks and are watching for Iran's response to a U.S. proposal. Officials said Washington is pursuing negotiations while signaling it will not accept delays, and Israeli officials said they are preparing for multiple scenarios. This occurs amid anticipation of the U.S. President's State of the Union address, where officials in Israel are watching for any public signals on next steps. Israeli reporting also cited indications that a military strike is not expected this coming weekend, pointing to upcoming diplomatic travel and scheduled visits, including the arrival of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and a planned visit by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio next Monday. Officials cautioned that timing remains uncertain and could shift based on developments after the State of the Union. The development follows intensified regional coordination and security consultations in recent days. Israel's defense establishment has also been holding frequent closed discussions on home front readiness, including meetings of a ministerial committee focused on civil defense. Israeli reporting cited assessments that a significant portion of the population lacks access to reinforced rooms or building shelters, alongside continued planning for workplace operation rules and public warning systems during emergencies. Authorities are responding as planning continues for potential high-impact scenarios involving long-range threats. Separately, Israeli reporting said the United States is placing advanced fighter aircraft on Israeli soil, including F-22 aircraft, as part of the wider U.S. posture in the region. The reporting described the aircraft's capabilities and said the jets had routed through a U.S. base in the United Kingdom. This comes as U.S. forces adjust deployments and signaling amid regional uncertainty. In the West Bank, Palestinian media reported that settlers set fire to structures and vehicles in the village of Susya in the South Hebron Hills area, with no arrests reported. Residents described a large group arriving and setting fire to property, with locals attempting to extinguish flames. The incident takes place amid continued friction and ongoing investigations into other recent arson and vandalism incidents at religious sites in the territory. At the United Nations, Israel voted in favor of a Ukrainian-drafted General Assembly resolution calling for a just and lasting peace based on Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, while the United States abstained. Israeli officials said the foreign minister instructed Israel's UN delegation to support the measure, and Israel also announced additional humanitarian support in the form of generators for the Kyiv region. The move reflects shifting diplomatic positioning as the war reaches its fourth year and states balance alliances and security priorities. In diplomatic tensions between Washington and Paris, French officials criticized the conduct of the U.S. ambassador to France, Charles Kushner, after he declined to appear for a clarification meeting at the French Foreign Ministry following a public embassy statement about political violence in France. French officials said they would limit his access to government leaders, according to Israeli reporting. This occurs amid a broader period of strain in U.S.-France relations and continued European focus on antisemitism and domestic security. That's the latest headlines from IsReal News.